Ladies and gentlemen, it is Mikey McNuggets and Ant because G and
What's up,
Earl
guys?
aren't ready yet. They'll be here any second. As soon as they hop on, we will get into the full show, but we are at the 2-minute warning. It is already a crazy Brown season. Andre Szymt, the guy who beat out Dustin Hopkins in the kicking competition over training camp, missed a extra point, which is why the Browns trail 17-16. And then he just missed a chip shot potential go-ahead field goal. It started right, it went right, and missed. And now the Browns are at a 4th and inches situation at the 2-minute warning. We'll see after the commercial break if the Bengals decide to go for it on 4th and inches to essentially put a nail in the coffin and end the game. But Ant, while we're in the 2-minute warning, we just got over a whole summer of saying none of us trust Dustin Hopkins. They had to make a change. We take anybody besides D-Hop. And in his first professional NFL game, Andre Szymt has done exactly what we said Dustin Hopkins can't do. Missed an extra point and missed a chip shot. What say you, Ant?
It's ridiculous. I don't understand how they cannot find a kicker and a quarterback. A quarterback makes sense. It's a lot to evaluate, but a kicker should just be able to do his job. Field goals, pressure. You're a professional kicker in the NFL, man. Like, you got to at least make your extra points. If you missed your extra points, like, we're gonna lose this because of this kid, and it sucks. It's his first NFL game, and you want to cheer for the young kid, but I man, I don't even have words. I'm so frustrated with it right now. I sent you a text. I was like, I'm ready to go out there and try out. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it is incredible. I mean, they should be up minimum by 4 points at this point. It should be 20-17 based off the easy field goals and extra points that Andre Szymt missed. G. Bush, welcome to the postgame show. It is 4th and 1, and the Bengals are at least lined up to attempt to go for it. G, save your thought on the kicker for a second because let's see what the Bengals do. The Browns, in theory, could get the ball back here. I'm not sure. Do you think they're going to run a play here, G, or is this just a dummy count situation?
They'd be fools to run plays here.
So stay disciplined if you're Cleveland. They're running a bunch of fake motions. Burrow's getting under set. Yeah, they're definitely not going to go for it here. They're going to walk off the field. And the Browns are going to have a chance. The defense, G, has stepped up huge. Myles Garrett with back-to-back sacks. And then they get the 3 and out here to get a chance with the ball back. They have 2 timeouts. And we'll see if Joe Flacco, can lead them on a game-winning drive. And I don't know about you, G. You have to go for 6 here. I have no faith in Andre Szymt. No faith.
Yeah, we to a point. Like, first of all, shout out to the defense. I think Myles Garrett, him and the defensive line, that last drive really put their stamp on the game. They've really been able to stymie Joe Burrow. I think they've had a pretty good game. Greg Newsome has had a really good game. You're right here. You have to go and you have to get this thing as close as possible, and you got to be thinking touchdown here if you're the Cleveland Browns, because you're dealing with somebody who right now, if you're Szymt, he has zero confidence.
And then DeAndre Carter returned the ball to about the 33-yard line, so you'll have decent starting field position. In theory, the Browns have to go about 30 yards to get into field goal range. In theory, but G, I don't trust. I'm going for it unless it's a chip shot and you have no other opportunity and no other chances. You got to go for it. I'm not putting Andre Szymt back out there, and we'll see what Joe Flacco has. Hey, we talk about the veteran presence here. This is the situations you want Joe Flacco in.
Mike, what time are you guys at?
1:50. They're about to snap the ball.
All right, I'll let you. I'm not on as big of a delay. I'll let you guys see what happens then.
All right, well, that's a 9-yard completion to Njoku. The way you said that, Ant, did not sound good.
It's not good at all.
That's not great. G-Book, what time are you at?
I'm at 1:33.
All right, so you're at the same exact – you have YouTube TV then because you and I are watching the same thing. Flacco looking. Oh, my God, and that's the game.
Yep.
Off someone. I didn't see what receiver, but it was off somebody's hands.
Off Tillman.
Off Tillman into the arms of number 20 on Cincinnati. It's the second interception for Flacco today that bounced off a receiver's hands into a Cincinnati defender, and that's going to be the nail in the coffin. The Browns are going to lose, barring some crazy, unfortunate circumstances here. But here's the replay. Tillman, I believe it's Jordan Battle he's up against, sits down in the slot. Flacco a little to the outside, and Tillman kneed out of his own hand, G. Bush. Tillman's knee knocked the ball out of his hands, pops up, and Cincinnati. Oh, no. Nope. He just dropped it. Flat out dropped. No knee. When you see it from the front angle, no knee there. And that is the most Browns way to ever lose a game, G. We are 1 week into a season that we already thought could be crazy. And we've seen a missed chip shot field goal, a missed extra point, and a game-winning drive stalled out and ended by a Cedric Tillman drop that falls into Cincinnati's hands. Joe Burrow is going to take a couple of knees here, and that is how the first game of the season is going to end. They're going to run a few plays just so they don't get the timeouts, and then this sucks.
I mean, this is.
Oh my God.
This is. I tweeted this out. I said when he missed the first extra point, I said, of course, we missed the extra point to go up by 3. This is so Browns. You have a great drive, and now the Bengals have the opportunity to come down and take the lead with a field goal. Joe Flacco comes out, another interception off the hands of Jerry Jeudy. They come down and kick the field goal. They're up 1. I said this is also the most scripted L's I've ever seen for the Cleveland Browns. We talk about it weekly. Browns have dominated all game for the most part, and now you are down after a turnover and missed extra point. And it's just that we do this every single year, man. Like, it's crazy to me that it's the new people, it's new faces. It's these are games where these are winnable games. I mean, the Browns heavily outplayed the Cincinnati Bengals today.
Gee, I do want to mention it technically. Well, Myles Garrett just jumped offside, I believe. Let's see what the penalty is. But the Browns could technically get the ball back with about 20 seconds left and no timeout. So it's not officially over yet. We should clarify. I know we just put a nail in the coffin. Neutral zone infraction on the Browns. That's going to set up Cincinnati 2nd and 6 now. They're going to run the ball one more time. The Browns are going to call a timeout. They're going to take a knee and punt it. The Browns have a chance to get it back with 25, 30-ish seconds and have to go the length of the field with no timeout. So not impossible, improbable, but not impossible. But G, to your point, Ant, if I told you guys that Joe Burrow was going to throw for 113 yards, if Joe Flacco would throw for more than double the amount of yards that Joe Burrow threw for, if T. Higgins and Jamar Chase were going to combine, G. Bush, Higgins and Chase were going to combine for 5 catches for fewer than 60 yards and no touchdowns. If I told you that before the game, if I told you that Dylan Sampson and Harold Fannin would each have more catches and each have more receiving yards than Higgins and Chase combined, we would have said the Browns are 1-0 and we are celebrating a victory. And because of some kicking blows and penalties and bad drops, we're going to be looking at an 0-1 start to the season, man. That's incredible.
They don't even get the penalty excuse because the first drive in the first quarter, they got 2 first downs because of penalties. Cincinnati didn't play a clean game at all. Like, they got no excuse for me, man. I don't even know.
When you take a look at it, and we speak about this all the time, week to week. I talk about it. It seems like it's whack. I talk about complimentary football. I said, you can't. You came out here, and why did Cincinnati win? Well, Cincinnati, how many turnovers did they have? I don't believe they had any turnovers. Did Cincinnati miss any kicks? No, Cincinnati didn't miss kicks. So the Browns defense came out here and did a stellar job on Joe Burrow. Right now, he's 14 and 23, 113, and 1 touchdown, right? They did a stellar job on him. They played well. They got the ball back, did what they needed to do. But for the Cleveland Browns, they dropped 2 or 3 passes in a row on 3rd and 4th down that stopped the drive. You had a tipped interception by Jerry Jeudy the first time. You had another tipped interception while the Cleveland Browns were moving down the field by Cedric Tillman. And you had a missed extra point and a missed field goal. That's a chip shot. You cannot win football games in the NFL doing that type of stuff. And the Cleveland Browns managed to continue to do that. And we'll hear the same things over and over again in the postgame situation about how we can't beat ourselves and we got penalties and we got to make our kicks when we make them. Listen, at some point, you have to take accountability for it.
Yeah.
This game was one of those scripted L's we always talk about. If they don't pull it out.
Yeah, and once again, I don't want to say it's officially over until it's officially over. Chase Brown is just going to fall down and run 40 seconds off the clock. The Browns are going to get the ball back with about 25-ish seconds here. 25-ish seconds to go the length of the field. G. Bush, are you in favor of a couple quick throws to the sideline, get out of bounds, and set up a Hail Mary? Or are you more in favor of taking a chunk shot first and trying to pick up 20, 30 yards to put yourself in Hail Mary range? We know Flacco has a strong enough arm to dial it up and reach the end zone, but how are you going to approach this 25-second, no timeout fire drill if you're the Browns?
I'm gonna try to hit some deep stuff to the sideline. I don't. Joe Flacco is not fleet of foot. I don't trust the offensive line to get up there and be able to get up there and spike the football and do what they need to do. I'm looking to run a really deep out or some deep comeback routes where we can try to get out of bounds and put ourselves in a position to get a Hail Mary. That's where I think that we go with it. It's 30 seconds here. They probably get it back depending on the way it's kicked. I'm assuming they're going to kick a sky punt right here and try to take as much time off as they can. But I'm looking for a couple of shots downfield, and hopefully they don't pin us deep.
They pinned us deep, and we've got 19 seconds.
19 seconds to go. So you got to get – so Szymt in warm-ups. Now, none of us have faith in Andre Szymt. We've already established that. However, he was making kicks up to 64 yards in warm-ups, which means the Browns – based off where Carter let it bounce. I think you just have to fair catch it there, G. That so they go 90. They're on the 1 yard line. They're on the 1 yard line. DeAndre Carter has to make that fair catch.
He has to catch.
It saves 5-6 seconds and 9 yards. Now you're backed up, literally on your end zone. It's the worst possible situation. That's a big mistake by DeAndre Carter.
That's a blunder. That's another special teams
mental
blunder.
Mistake by DeAndre Carter.
Very big mental mistake. Like you let the ball roll. You got to go 99 yards without a touchdown. You have to fair catch that football. Again, basics. Again, these are basics. We've been doing this post-game show, and we've had the ability to watch these games, and they've won and lost in the most improbable ways. And I think we've seen all of them.
This is certainly a weird one. Flacco dancing for his life in the end zone.
Run the ball and go home, man.
Incomplete. 13 seconds left from the 1 yard line. They got to get 30 yards here to have a shot. Flacco's got a good arm, G, but he doesn't have like a rocket launcher. He is 40 years old. We have to remember this isn't 24-year-old Flacco. What do you think from the 40-yard line? He may be able to reach the end zone, throw it 60 yards in the air, give or take.
Man, he needs to get about 30 yards right here.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get to about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
This is funny being so ahead of you guys.
Well, good for you. I don't have. Well, they threw for 6, so they just set up the Hail Mary from the 8-yard line.
Yep.
That's not the 30 yards we're looking for. All right, let's see if Joe Flacco can define human physics and launch a football against the pass rush 93 yards in air to reach the opposite end zone. Or do you go for the ladder? You got to go for the lateral play here. I mean, you have to go hook and ladder, try and create one of those Magic City miracle plays that we'll see on NFL films for you to come. I see Anthony smirking, which I don't like the end of that. But, Flacco's not reaching the end zone from the 6-yard line. And it looks like we have a false start, so they're going to get pushed back even further. Gee, how do you false start with 7 seconds left and the clock not running?
It's a rundown, too.
Is it a 5-second rundown?
I think it's a rundown.
Oh man,
It's a 10-second runoff, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the game. And is that the game?
Yeah, game final 17-16.
So
the second runoff.
Gee, let me give you a stat here real quick.
Yeah.
Let me give you a stat. And this is what makes this game so frustrating. The Browns had the Bengals to 7 net yards in the second half and lost the game. 7 net yards in the entire second half and lost the football game. Joe Flacco threw for nearly 3 times as many yards as Joe Burrow. And as I mentioned before, both Dylan Sampson and Harold Fannin, each of them individually had more receptions and receiving yards than Jamar Chase and T. Higgins combined. And the Cleveland Browns, due to some missed extra points and some unfortunate turnover luck. And I say turnover luck, G, those guys got to make those catches, plain and simple. It is unlucky that it happened, but you got to make those catches. And next thing you know, you have a chance to win this game. Instead, the Browns start off the season 0-1. They cover. So if you bet the Browns, you'll win your bet. But the real win in this situation counts in the standings, and the Browns starting off the season with an LG.
First and foremost, I see a lot of people talking. Listen, I'm not criticizing Joe Flacco at all. You didn't hear me say nothing about Joe Flacco.
I thought Flacco played pretty good.
Joe Flacco played good. This loss has nothing to do with Joe Flacco.
Yeah, this was not on Flacco.
So I don't know where that came from, but he's throwing the football to guys, and guys are not catching the rock. And this is one of the things that I continue to keep talking about with the Cleveland Browns. People say, G. Bush, you're hyperbolic all the time. You talk about Project Stockpile and you laugh and joke all the time and all that good stuff. How do you like your receivers? I'm keep telling y'all, but y'all think I'm just the Duke and knee jerk, and I've been telling you about receivers for how long? And the Cleveland Browns had an opportunity to go take a look and see if they can get some people, figure out what they got. This is what happens. You have very small room for error as the Cleveland Browns. You looked at it in general. Besides the drop Harold Fannin had, I thought he played a pretty good football game. And here's the thing about this. I can deal with some drops from a rookie who I think is going to get better and play pretty good. But
Fannin played awesome.
But Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman, that's no. I can't. I'm tired of talking about veterans not coming up with rookie mistakes. You are veterans. Jerry Jeudy, you were supposed to be a number one receiver. You got to catch them football. Cedric Tillman, you got to catch the football. You got to give your quarterback an opportunity. Yeah. And it's just, and in the kicking game, I'm tired of talking about the kicking game. I'm sick of it because we're just asking them to make regular kicks.
Regular kicks. These aren't bombs. And G, I want to point out this too. We can live with a random drop here or there, right? It happens. Jamar Chase dropped one today. It happens. Jerry Jeudy not only dropped the one that led to an interception, but on 4th and 5, down 17-16 earlier in the second half, the Browns decided to go for it. Kevin Stefanski drew up a play that worked to perfection, and Jerry Jeudy dropped that. And that is unacceptable.
Why? Regular slant. Regular slant.
And by the way, tomorrow on UCSS, Jay Crawford's going to go nuts and say the Browns should have punted or tried a field goal there. He's wrong. It was the perfect call to go for it.
He dropped the rock.
It was a perfect play call. Joe Flacco delivered a perfect football, and Jerry Jeudy has to catch that. And we talked a lot about Jerry Jeudy last year. Is he a true number one? He had the great statistical season, but was it just statistics on a bad team? Listen, he didn't have a great game today. I'm not saying this diminishes everything Jerry did, but there are levels to this, G, as you like to say. And the best of the best guys make some of those plays. And you could say CeeDee Lamb dropped a couple in the opener. It happens. I get it. This isn't all on Jerry Jeudy, but you need to make those kind of plays in those big moments. And Jerry Jeudy today did not come up with the rock when he needed to.
Yeah, listen, if you want to be a number one receiver, you got to come out and say, that's on me, man.
Yeah.
The diving catch. And one of the things, too, if you're not going to make the catch, you sure as hell can't have the other team make it.
Exactly.
All that tapping the ball up in the air and which way did it go, that leads to turnovers, interceptions, and it puts you in a position. These are routine plays. Nothing out there was overly hard or difficult. Routine kicks, routine catches, and they just didn't do it. Just couldn't do it.
No. Let's talk about some of the positives real quick, then we'll get back to some of the stuff that we have to hit on. Myles Garrett, once again, was incredible. In that fourth quarter, he had those two plays in succession, taking Joe Burrow down. Gee, that's now his fourth week one game in his career with 2+ sacks. Incredible. I thought the two rookies on offense, Sampson and Fannin, both played very well.
Mm-hmm.
I loved what I saw. I loved the creativity getting Fannin. We even saw him take a wildcat snap. I'm personally over Jerome Ford. If they want to give all the action to Dylan Sampson moving forward, I'm okay with that. And I can't wait to see a Sampson-Judkins backfield. I thought Schlesinger made plays all over the field. I thought Newsome actually held up pretty damn well on the outside, too. give Greg some credit. He actually held his own in some one-on-one situations against Jamar Chase. The defense as a whole was really good. We didn't hear Mason Graham's name called a lot, but it's hard to tell watching the game how much of an impact a defensive tackle has. We'll find out more when we look at the All-22. But there were some very good things to take. Joe Flacco played good too, by the way. I know his stat line is going to show the 2 interceptions. Neither were necessarily on him. He missed a couple throws here and there, but I thought he drove the bus just like Kevin Stefanski asked him to do, especially without much of a running attack to lean back on. It's just a damn shame they outplayed the Cincinnati Bengals. They should have won this football game, and the kicker cost them. And I don't really know who else to point the finger at, G, besides the kicker, because he missed an extra point and a chip shot. And we could live with. We could live with you missing 50-yarders, right? Like,
right.
Can't miss the gimmies. You can't miss layups in basketball. You may not be a great three-point shooter, but if Shaq couldn't make layups, Shaq wasn't playing in the league. If you're a kicker, you can't miss those kind of kicks, G. And he missed 2 of them today after beating out Dustin Hopkins, who we just got rid of because he couldn't make those kicks.
I thought, first and foremost, I thought Flacco played very well. The touchdown he threw to Cedric Tillman had a lot of anticipation on it. He threw that, wasn't nobody open. I thought he did a really good job of just making sure, like, hey, look, I'm going to do everything I can. Even when Flacco is known to put the ball in harm's way, at the end of the half, he threw the ball out of bounds because he knew they had a field goal in their back pocket and they was getting the ball back at the start the second half. So the Cleveland Browns executed that to perfection. The last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half, the Browns knew they deferred. They wanted to get the ball. So you got the 3 points. Then you come back in the second half, get the touchdown. You've done exactly what you want to do.
Yep.
It's there. All you do, make the kick. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals, who've been struggling, you dominated time of possession. Joe Burrow and that offense is on the sideline. Now, guess what you get an opportunity to do? Now you up 3. If Joe goes 90 yards, they kick a field goal, you still tied up.
Yep.
Unfortunately, guess what happens? You miss the extra point. They come, you get the ball back, and Jerry Jeudy, the ball bounces off his hand. They get the ball in your territory, and they kick a field goal like we talked about. And guess what? Now it feels like the momentum is all on their side, and you've dominated the most of the game. I thought Harold Fanning Jr., besides the drop, played very well for a rookie. I thought Dylan Sampson. I'm over Jerome Ford. I'm ready to. I don't need to see no more from him. Bambi. I don't need to see him dancing in the forest anymore. Give me Jerome. Give me Dylan Sampson. And I thought for the most part, I thought Joe did a good job of when he needed to take a sack, he took it, or when he needed to throw the ball away, he threw it away. I saw Mason Graham on a couple of tackles. I think that he got home a little bit and pushed the pocket from the middle when they almost got to safety. I thought McGuire had some plays. And once again, I think Myles Garrett, I think we need to start talking about this. Hey, listen, when people talk about leadership, you know what I want from Myles Garrett? That production.
2 sacks.
That give me that. I don't care nothing about no team captain awards and being. Listen, if you want to get 3 sacks, I'll take a collection plate up for you for your speeding tickets. Just don't hit nobody.
And by the way, the maybe Myles' best play of the whole game didn't result in a sack, but when he ran that stunt, came up the middle and laid the shoulder on Joe Burrow, I mean that was the best hit of the entire game, and that's one of the ones which is why when we say he didn't have any sacks, but sacks are not the end all be all. They look sexy, they look great in a stat sheet. There are certain plays that are equivalent to said sack that don't actually equate to a sack in the stat sheet. He was fantastic. And G, you know what I think hurts the most about this? I'm not that mad. Like, I just got a text from my guy Halim, who's like, I've come to expect this. And I'm kind of like, if you had told me the Browns were going to play halfway decent and they were going to lose on some wonky, wishy-wash fashion that I couldn't necessarily predict, something as silly as their new kicker missing 2 chip shots, I'd be like, yeah, it sounds about right. It checks out. And I hate the fact that this Browns team, and it's a Kevin Stefanski thing. Like, it starts at Stefanski and works its way down. You get to this point when it becomes a pattern, not just a random occurrence. They're the best team in the league at losing close games.
They is.
The best team at coming close and not finishing the deal. They might be the best team ever. I mean, if we're talking about the Mount Rushmore of teams that are competitive but not actually that good, Kevin Stefanski's Browns have found a lot of times where they're right in that conversation.
They're like the Man, they're like the I don't know, man. They're the New Orleans Pelicans or something, bro. The Pelicans is just good at having highlights, and you be like, dang, the Pelicans should be nice. Look at their roster, and they play well for 3-4 quarters, and then you look up and the game is over. You're like, how did they lose by 5? Like they were winning the whole entire game. That is, the messed up part about it is there's a lot of people in the chat. There's a lot of people who have lost the ability to have that anger. We've lost the ability because it's so predictable. These games are literally scriptable. Like when I said, like, hey, he would miss the extra point. That's when the snowball starts. When the extra point is missed, now you're like, okay, it's almost like the Madden is trying to figure out ways and to be like, hey, what do we have to have next for the script to work out?
I'm telling you, one thing happens to this team and they fall apart. And that's kind of been the story since we started the show. One thing goes bad in the game and it spirals. And I've never really seen them make a huge bounce back from a small mistake that I can remember off the top of my head. And you're right. It's hard to get angry. It's week 1. We didn't expect a lot this season.
I mean, I picked the Bengals to win. Like, it's not like I'm not shocked at the result. It's just the way it played out. Like, there's no way they should have lost this game. And I'm thinking as you were talking, do you cut Szymt right now? Like, I'm trying to think of any situation where a kicker has lost his confidence. And sure, you could say it's just one game, his first game in the league. I'm not trying to be too overreactional, but this was a guy that's never kicked in the league and's been out of college for a couple of years for a reason, right? He's been on 2 different practice squads before he got this opportunity with the Browns. It's not like he has some proven track record of success on the NFL level. The Browns have no margin for error, G. This roster is not talented to put up and overcome missing kicks. And if you're still in the playoff race, which the Browns certainly are, you're not out of it till you're officially out of it. They're 0-1. The sky's not falling. Teams have won Super Bowls after losing their first game. I'm not saying this Browns team will. I'm just saying they're still very much in play, and there's still the majority of the season to get through. Can you trust him? Like when he trots out next week for an extra point, a field goal, whatever, do you have any faith in Andre Szymt?
No. Listen, I don't. Matter of fact, let's go to the coach. I don't got no faith in Bubba Ventrone. I mean, let's keep it a buck, bro. Like, I mean, a special team somewhere you get to go hide people, because my thing is I'm looking at Bubba Ventrone as Baker Mayfield drops a dime to go up 24.
I know. I wasn't sure if you guys were. I wasn't going to say anything, but
yeah.
It just makes it worse that Baker just led a 75-yard game-winning touchdown.
Nah, bro.
And good for Baker, by the way. Good for Baker.
Well, look, man. Good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who went and got Emeka Egbuka, who got 2 touchdown passes today.
Yeah, he looks legit, bro.
Hey, listen, and this is my thing. You go to a couple of things, man, and all of these pencil pushers, analytical dudes, they ain't drafted one playmaker, not one playmaker to help your team. How you not be able to get a playmaker and then you can't find a run of the mill kicker? You can't find one to make 30 yards. By the way, he just missed a kick.
Did he really?
Yeah, they just missed a kick. Tampa Bay just missed a kick to go up for.
Kickers issue galore.
I don't know what moving that. They moved it back, 10 yards to 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Was that how far they moved it? It shouldn't make that much of a difference. I can't imagine why it does. These guys are sad.
And my thing is, too, like, I look at it like this. Like, people keep asking them, do you guys have kicking coaches? No. Why not? Here's my question. If Bubba Ventrone has never kicked a football through the goalpost, ever, what can he tell a kicker about why he missed a field goal?
I don't think you can tell him anything. It's all in the mechanics of your hips, where you plant your foot, and how you swing through. Because you got to angle that up so you can kick it right over the line. If Bubba's never done it, I have no idea what he has to offer any of our kickers.
So why, when you ask, how is y'all got Yale and Harvard analytics boys? Y'all got the best and brightest that Silicon Valley can buy, and you telling me you don't have a kicking coach specialist?
Most teams in the league don't have a kicking coach, and I don't get
it.
And the Ravens do. And Justin Tucker, who I've seen a lot of people clamoring for, which, by the way, I know we'll get to in the super chats. Find someone else. Like find someone else. I don't want anything to do with Justin Tucker.
Man, dude. We gotta get Tucker
out.
too.
Yeah, I'm done. He might be the best one out there. I don't care. I'm passing. I'll find someone else. You guys may agree, disagree. We could talk about it when we get to super chats. But most teams don't have a dedicated kicking coach. And I've seen a few people online say when we start blaming Bubba, I mean, he has to get some of the blame. I don't understand, and I'll be the first. Like, I could be wrong on this. G, you played in a. Tell me if I'm wrong. Bubba's not lining up kicks with Szymt or Hopkins, and on he give them certain tidbits of information and hey, tweak this. Your hip's coming out doing. But when it comes to 28-yard field goals and extra points, that's on the kicker. Like that's not on Bubba. That's on the kicker. I'm sorry, right?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. You know what it is on him? Who is evaluating these people?
That's fair. That's fair.
The kicker didn't just show up in Berea and say, "I'm your guy." Somebody had to stamp him like they spent a 4th-round pick on Cade York, a wasted pick.
That was pre-Bubba though. Just
okay.
making sure we're clear. Yeah, that was pre-Bubba.
I'm tagging this all to Andrew Berry's resume.
No. I'm just making sure for the chat and people listening, they know the line of delineation.
Yes, the line is
and then Bubba.
Bubba Ventrone, I would be going to, hey, give me a kicking coach. I need a kicking specialist. We need to be working with him, videoing. And yeah, it is. And somebody said, this is not golf. It is not a golf swing. Yes, it is. If they videotape the way you swing a baseball bat and a golf club and roll a bowling ball, why do you not think that these mechanics count?
No,
yeah, they do.
It does.
Get on the game plan. And Andrew Berry, if you can't get a seasoned regular kicker to make 31-yard field goals to play for your team, you do not have the qualifications to be a general manager. It's the easiest position to get right. You can just pick one, and they usually do okay. We don't have how many years?
So since the show started, since UCSS started, they drafted Cade York, so that was our first kicker. And you remember he hit that 56-yard game winner against Baker and Carolina to start his career. Then it was all downhill. After Cade, they traded for Dustin Hopkins. He had the incredible 2023 season. Then Cade last year, Hopkins last year took the gigantic step back. And now we're with Szymt. So 4 seasons in, 3 kickers. They've had others in camp, but that have actually kicked for the team, I believe. And Lucas Havelrock, however you pronounce his last name. You remember him? Lucas H.A. Havelrock? I don't know if he ever actually.
Yes, I remember him.
Let me look it up.
Because I used to call him Horowitz.
Yeah, Lucas Havrasik. I'm looking up he's on the Bills now. Let me see if he actually kicked for the Browns. If he ever kicked for the Browns. Or if he was just a practice squad guy. No, never actually kicked in a game for the Browns, G. But he was a practice squad guy that they at least dabbled with for a little bit.
This is wild.
Just disappointing. Man.
It's nasty work because, people watch this. This is one of the games that we felt like it is I picked them to win 24-19. I said Joe Flacco will put him in contention. He has enough what it takes to kind of make sure that he can make enough throws, enough plays, and kind of won't put him in harm's way. But when you look at it and you have a game like this and the defense plays the way it does, and you got Joe Burrow who in that offense, and you hold him to how many yards in the second half? 7
net yards.
7 net yards. 7 net yards, and you lose the football game.
Yep, it's tough.
You can't.
Tough.
And now here's the thing: who you got next week?
The Ravens.
Green Bay. Yeah.
So this is the way things snowball. Now you get the Ravens will get tuned up after they come off a win or whatever that's going to happen. They may be coming off a loss because they play in Buffalo, right? And so you're going to get a Ravens team that may be pissed off at home, ready to go. And you could have had to win against Cincinnati and put them behind the 8 ball, where now Cincinnati has to start the season behind the 8 ball a little bit in the division. This is just the way things snowball a little bit. And it's hard to continue to hear this type of stuff and see it every year.
So I was down in the Muni Lot this morning. And first off, shout out to anyone I saw at the Muni Lot. Me and Earl were down there. I don't know where the hell Earl is, by the way. I hope he's okay. I saw him this morning. We were hanging out in the Muni Lot, but we must have taken 50 pictures with fans. You guys are the best. Like, love you guys. Gee, the vibes were so high. And people were genuinely excited. And I think a lot of people were masking a little bit of the excitement because, I don't think anyone had super, super high expectations for this team. I mean, even the most optimistic Browns fan on the show, Tyvis, had them winning 7 or 8 games. So, realistically speaking, but, everyone felt good going into this. And you watch how the game unfolded, and in a way you feel good because the Browns just outplayed a team I think is going to the playoffs and should have beaten them relatively easily. I think if the things actually fell for the Browns, you don't have those turnovers, right? You make some kicks. You probably scored another touchdown because you were driving on one of those situations. If Jude doesn't drop that 4th down pass, I know a lot of ifs and buts in the circumstances, but the Browns outplayed Cincinnati. So you can kind of pick and choose what parts of this game you want to take and feel good about moving forward, and pick and choose which parts you want to say, well, this is going to be another long season. But a loss is a loss. And 0-1 is 0-1. And no matter how much we try and tell ourselves, well, this could have happened and that could have happened, the Browns just lost a game to a team that played like dog crap.
And they play horrible.
Just the second time in Zach Taylor's tenure as head coach they've won a week 1 game. Just the second time.
They played a trash game. And the thing that really makes me mad is to see guys, the teams who play trash games, go up to each other and dap each other up like, boy, we survived that one. Ooh, we got out of there with a win. And it's like, I can't, and people will say, well, Coach Stefanski, he can't go catch the football for people. Coach Stefanski, he can only call the plays. And well, you know what Coach Stefanski can do? He can say this. He can say, look, man, we will not tolerate drop footballs at any point. If you are dropping the football, I cannot and will not play you. Second of all, this comes back to roster management and development. I consistently say it all the time. You've heard me on this show for 4 years talk about what? Where are your receivers? Who are your receivers? Who are these guys that they're drafting? Who are they? Every single year, all they did is switch Amari Cooper for Jerry Jeudy, right? That's all you did. You swapped Cooper, and Jerry Jeudy is better than Cooper, but you still don't have anybody else no one's scared of. And the Cleveland Browns consistently don't do anything about it. They just keep saying we like our receiver room.
Well, G, we did not mention this yet. And I think this needs to be mentioned, then we'll get to Super Chats. The Browns have not made a change at receiver coach since we have been doing UCSS. I'm not quite sure when Shadow Shea was hired to be the Browns receivers coach, but they have not made a change since UCSS has been a show. Since UCSS has been a show, the Browns have not had it's been competent at times. They've had good performances. Amari Cooper was obviously good, but they have not done a good job developing wide receivers. Look no further than David Bell, Michael Woods, the plethora of receivers they've tried to draft and develop, and their best receivers have come via trade, right? When we talk about drops, some of it is unfortunate circumstances. Some of it you can't help. People are going to drop passes. It happens. But just like you were saying, when do we hold Bubba Ventrone accountable for missing extra points and Andre Schmidt missing kicks? At some point, when do we point a finger at Chad O'Shea and say, maybe he's not the guy to be running the receiver room, and maybe someone else, a different philosophy, a different way of expressing his message and teaching and developing would be more beneficial to this team? Because what we saw today is a microcosm of what we've seen over the last 3.5 seasons during the UCSS tenure. And frankly, I think you could do a lot better. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, here, I don't know how they pick and choose how people are on this staff. Somebody went out and got the offensive line coach they had last year, and after 1 year, they had to fire him on the plane. They wanted to go back to what Kevin wanted to do, but obviously Alex Van Pelt was running what Kevin wanted to before. They let him go. And then you get guys like Joe Woods, who we cringe for and tell, hey, we need to get him up out of here.
Atlanta missed the field goal. Tampa's going to win. 44 yards, one of the best kickers in football. Young Huku missed the field goal. It's just one of those days, guys. One of those days. You continue. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, I mean, I think one of the things that we got to look at is there's a difference between good and bad teams, right? Yes, you can have a kicker miss a field goal here or there. But here's the thing with the Browns. The Browns fall apart in multiple areas, right? If, say, for instance, today, they just catch the football, they win. Say, for instance, if they don't catch the football, they just make their kicks, they win. But you had to win, to lose this game, it took you to miss all of your kicks and not catch the football. So you can't, the Browns can't do it. They can't do it in multiple areas and facets. And the players, you got to think about this. How many years have they been here?
Since 2000. This is year 6. Year 6.
If things are happening and it's different players and it's different personnel and it's different philosophies and different, what's the same thing that still stays current? The front office and the coaching. So at some point when they say, either as a manager, they used to tell me, hey, you got guys that are not showing up to work. Well, what you doing about it? Is either you letting it happen and make them feel comfortable about it, or you hold them accountable.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some super chats and get out of here. HNT63 says, get Justin Tucker. Real quick, G and Ant, would you take Tucker or no?
Nah. He suspended 11 games.
Yeah, if you can't play, don't bother. But at this point, I mean, they've signed everybody else. Why not, I guess?
Yeah, I'm just out on Tucker.
Yeah.
Don't need another distraction here. Steve S says, Szymt packing his bags in the locker room as we speak. Reggie the Blood Glover says, now that we got our first game jitters out of the way, the rest of the season should look lovely. That's one way to look at it.
I like the positivity.
P. Rothstein 216 says, no other team in the NFL loses as many games because of special teams. Someone has to be held accountable because it's totally unacceptable. Another blown victory, same old Browns. That's how I feel too. It's a blown victory. That's a good way to put it. The Browns should have won this football game today, and they did not. Aaron Zarek says, this is on the players. Do your job. We're not allowed to curse anymore, so I'm not going to put E-Units on the screen, but E-Unit said Ventrone wasn't a good football player, and he's not good as a coordinator. Strapped them both to the same rocket. James Mace Jr. says, we always almost win. Reggie the Bug Glover says, I give them 1 week to clean up the mistakes. James Mace says, Butterfingers. Nathan S. says, can't we get an average kicker? Not even special, just average, and fire Bubba. Special teams have been terrible since we've had him. Kickers included. James May says Szymt should be bagging groceries next week. Jim Blaker said interceptions were not on Flacco. Get Judkins back. We will be okay. The wide receiver improvement. The wide receivers need improvement. And can we please get a damn kicker? Mr. I crap and poop. I have to say it very carefully now. A great defense can win a lot of games, but the offense and special teams needs to be at least average. That's what I'm saying. We're not asking for anything crazy, guys. Literally just do the basics. I thought Joe Flacco, made all the basic throws today. There was nothing special. I mean, the touchdown pass to Tim was a great throw. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But he made the routine. He made the right play more often than not. And you got to make the chip shot field goals. You got to. Terrell says the Bengals were begging us to win this game. Defense played well. Pass catchers minus Fannin are to blame with a kicker who just had the worst debut ever by a kicker. I'm not sure it's the worst debut ever. I don't know other kicking debuts, but it's tough. To miss 2 chip shots like that is not good. Mr. McFly says, honestly, better than expected given the lack of offensive playmakers. Feeling pretty good about those rookies. Too early to call Justin Tucker. As I mentioned, I'm not calling Tucker, but I would be bringing kickers to have at least a competition in practice this week. Absolutely, without a doubt. Aggie Fury says, get that Szymt out of here. That's funny. I do appreciate that. D4L Josh, is Ford still running into linemen?
Yep.
Gee, you and I are in agreement, man. Just give the carries to Sampson at this point. Just give him to Sampson. I'm over the Jerome. I was over the Jerome Ford experience before today, and it did nothing but re-emphasize that feeling.
Yeah, he's regular. He's regular. He's nothing special.
James Mace said the Bengals are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Sure did.
Tyrone Jackson says, got to cut the kicker. Better off just taking a chance on somebody else. Get his Schmitty class out of here. Aggie Fury says we can all agree this kicker ain't Szymt. Once again, great headlines from the super chat today. You guys are.
I mean, this is right. These one-liners is writing themselves, bro.
Yes. Kirk Davis says, let's see if Deshaun would be the most expensive kicker in NFL history.
Man, can you imagine?
Kind of funny.
I don't know.
$12. I'll go do it right now.
I don't know if his plant foot is good. I don't know how that works with Achilles, right?
Might be tough to kick with a bad Achilles, but hey, whatever it says. DS Dior Cord says someone called Matt Barr or Phil Dawson.
Oh, you know, I was waiting for the Matt Barr for Phil Dawson super chatter text. Yeah, we always get them.
Kirk Davis said, like dude said in Happy Gilmore, it's all in the hips.
Yep,
true.
Masonry Construction says Shador will get his opportunity. Hey, Flacco played good. Flacco did absolutely nothing today that would make me consider a quarterback change. Nothing.
See, but here's why this is crazy, and then this is the way it be happening, right? So you lost this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the Baltimore Ravens. So if you're a team that ain't so expected to win a lot of games and you fumble one of the wins, at what point do you, even if Joe Flacco is playing well and the wins aren't there for you, are you going to be like
you make the change? I'm just saying right now.
I'm not saying right now, but that's what people like. Because think about it, that's all people are saying. The Dylan Gabriel gonna play. If you fumbled the bag on this, if you're Joe Flacco, you got to be pissed off.
Live it.
You got to be mad because you did exactly what you were supposed to do. You limited it. You didn't turn the ball over like that. You got your team in position, and this was a winnable game, which would have gave you some grace. He's just looking for some house money. If you get a win against Cincinnati, you may have a tough couple of weeks where you might not get a win, but you can at least keep the tide from turning. This is a very winnable game.
They needed to win this game. Or else everything else could unravel significantly more quickly than we would like.
Exactly.
All right, next up.
Sorry.
Go.
I was going to say, I think Joe's out after the Europe game. Like,
if they're 0-4, it could happen. But like I said, if they had won this game, that's why this one was so important.
Yeah.
Had they won this game, he has a little more grace because 1-3 is, Flacco's playing well. We're 1-3. We're okay. 0-4, it's, we got to change stuff for the sake of changing stuff at that point.
And I agree. I think they can get Minnesota. I'm not JJ McCarthy. If they play the right game plan with the defense playing well, you put yourself and also a win against Cincinnati with Joe Burrow. If they can make kicks, guess what? Now they're talking to Myles Garrett and say, and those guys that say, Myles, how is this defense? Is this defense back? Is they back to how are you guys doing? And now the defense feels pumped up and ready to go against Baltimore. Now it's like, oh, here we go again. We're gonna be carrying the team this year.
Yep. It's a morale thing too. Defense played as well as you could have asked them to play. Held the Bengals, the high-powered, the number one offense in football last year, to 17 points, and you still lost. It's a gut punch. Akira San Bio said Browns had more drops than a DJ Clue mixtape.
Cool.
Mason Construction said mention Shador Sanders, cut the crap. Rummy says, support a losing team, get a losing team. Terrell says, that was one of the worst defenses we'll play all year.
Low key.
It is true. Like it is, and that's why I said Flacco just took what was there, and had they not had self-inflicted wounds and the turnovers and the missed kicks, you could have been looking at a 27-point performance from this Browns. Like they weren't that far off from like a high-scoring offensive output, G. They really weren't.
No, and if you watch and see, here's the tricky part about it. So what the Browns was running was regular.
It was basic. It was a very basic offense.
This was JV bread and butter. It wasn't no crate. It was dump offs. It was check downs and let me get a couple of yards after the catch. It wasn't nothing extravagant. And the Bengals was like, oh. Well, they just kept missed tackles here or there, be out of position. Here's right. Like this is not one of the best defenses we're gonna play all year. And if you can only, how many points do we get today?
16.
16 against the Bengals is not cutting it.
No. The Browns outgained the Bengals in the second half, 216-7. held the Bengals to 1 first down in the second half, G, just to give you some context. Mason Construction said Karma, Shador Sanders' ancestors have spoke.
You had the ancestors talking.
Donnie M says, screw it, just go for 2 and live with it.
At this point, yeah.
D4L Josh says, don't worry, our kicker is in the 2026 draft too. That's funny. Phil says, the Browns. That was good, Josh. That was good. Phil says, are the Browns cursed, or is the universe just trying to send them a message?
They've been sending messages.
And our last super chat comes from Q Dog, who says, J Bush, I think he means G Bush, warn the people that kickers matter. So that's going to wrap it up for the first post-game show of the Browns 2025 season. Earl the Pearl will be back with us next week. I just heard from Earl. He is alive. He was dealing with some personal matters behind the scenes, which is why he wasn't with us today. But he's okay. He'll be back in studio with us tomorrow. It's an 0-1 start for the Browns, a disappointing 17-16 loss. Andre Szymt, the big loser in this one, for missing an extra point and a chip shot field goal that would have not only tied the game at one point for the Browns, but then given them the lead. Joe Flacco played well enough to win, but his receivers could not come through in the clutch. And that is how the Browns start off their 2025 season. It's Baltimore in Baltimore next week, and we will see you then at the 2-minute warning. For Ant making his post-game show debut, G. Bush, I'm McNuggets, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button, and we appreciate all 3,000 plus of you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Browns. Peace.